The RoughRiders are back in town tonight for Game 2 of a 4-game series against the San Antonio Missions, and joining us on the Riders pregame show is last night's starting pitcher, Jerad Eickhoff. Jerad, 7 innings last night, but it got off to a bit of a rocky start with the leadoff hitter, Corey Spangenberg, going deep for a solo home run. What went through your head after Spangenberg left the yard to open the game?
The biggest thing, to be honest, it didn't bother me at all because I'm just trying to establish the strike zone. I'm trying to establish strikes early, and I missed on the first pitch, and then he knows a fastball's coming more than likely, and he caught it, and after that it's I'd rather have that happen than me walk him on 6, 7, 8 pitches. So after that, it was just kind of got me a little more locked in, I guess you could say, but it didn't affect me that much.
So maybe a better thing that the leadoff guy to start the game hits a home run instead of having a guy hit a home run in maybe the 4th inning and throw you off your rhythm a little bit then.
Right. I'd rather have it early, and I tend to have, when that happens early, I get things going a little faster and get my pitches going and get a little better mix too when those kind of things happen.
You said it helped you maybe settle in and lock in the zone a little bit after that solo home run, but how really were you able to put that out of your mind and then go on to retire 16 in a row? That was quite a streak.
I think the biggest thing is after that happened, I noticed that they were kind of jumping on fastball, so I just got a little more fine with my pitches and my location. I tried to, if I was miss a little more off the plate more so than on the plate. And of course that curveball, mixing that curveball for strikes early, I think it's got them off balance, and just kind of kept that in the back of their mind, so that fastball looked a little harder.
We fast forward in your outing to the 6th inning. Mission scored 3 runs in that frame. There were a couple of errors in the field. You walk the leadoff guy and then give up a single. As a pitcher, what are the things that you need to do mentally and physically to stop a tough start to an inning from snowballing into a bad frame?
I think a lot of it comes from just experience from the minor leagues. That's what we're here for. So that happens a lot. Those things happen a lot over the course of a year, and this being my 3rd full season, I kind of feel how to deal with that, and I don't even know if I can explain it. It's just I just kind of brush it off and act like it's nothing, and my stuff's good enough to get the next guy out, and I just try to get the next out and they make the next pitch more so than worrying about the guys on base and what if I give up 2 runs here or 3 runs here. I just try to make a pitch each pitch, and hopefully that'll record outs.
Starting pitcher Jerad Eickhoff joining us on the Riders pregame show. You mentioned your stuff. I wanted to talk specifically about your curveball. Obviously, Jerad, coming into the season, everyone knew you had that pitch in your arsenal, but it seems like it's really developed into an out pitch for you, and in addition to that, you're just using it more. Has this been a focus for you throughout the season, developing that pitch, or take us through how your curveball has grown and matured as the year has gone on?
I think over the course of a year, and I've talked to Alex Vespoli about this too, is you have goals during the season, and my goals this year were to work on my changeup and to develop a slider, and I think I've done that. And over the time, you kind of start taking that path to develop those, and you sometimes forget about the other pitch, which is a really good one, is the curveball. So I think this last month I've really kind of, and with help of Mark Connors and Jeff Andrews and Danny Clark, is just realizing that curveball's still a good pitch, and I kind of flipped the switch in my head saying I need to throw that more, and I've been doing that, and I've been throwing it for strikes and then been able to finish guys with it too. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just kind of realizing that in the big scheme of things, outside of the curve or the slider and changeup.
Your strikeout total this year, any idea how many you've got so far?
No, I don't know.
Do you mind if I tell you?
Sure.
133, including the 5 that you had last night. Your previous career high in a single season was 90 back in the Hickory Crawdads days. The strikeout total, what does that say about the strides that you've taken as a player this season? What does that really reflect, do you think?
I think it's just throwing all my pitches for strikes. The hitters have to think of, I got 4 of them, and so they got to think of all 4 that I can throw in the zone at any time. So when I can do 3 or 4 in a game, which is hard to do, but more times than not it's just 2 or 3. But when I got 4 pitches going and 3 or 4 pitches going, they got to think about that. I think that's really attributed to it, and the slider, which complements my fastball and my curveball. So I think just the combination of a lot of things kind of has held true and helped me out.
Right-handed pitcher Jerad Eickhoff is with us on the Riders pregame show. And Jerad, you have a unique perspective on this team because you're one of a dwindling number of guys that has been with the club since opening day. How has your role changed on the team or in the clubhouse as guys have come and gone, if at all?
I don't think my role has ever changed. I see myself as a starting pitcher that needs to go 6-7 innings every night at least, and if more so, then great. But perspective-wise, I feel like I've come through here and been here all year and seen a lot of guys with a lot of talent come through here, and I just try to basically give them an insight as to how to prepare, possibly if they don't know already, which most guys do. But I think for some of the younger guys, just seeing me prepare, I think maybe helps them. I feel like I prepare pretty well, and just that insight alone maybe helps other guys too. So I'm just trying to contribute and be a horse and go as many innings as I can every 5 days. So I'll try to help the team win.
Preparation is really tied in to work ethic, Jerad, and we do these interviews before every game, and two guys we've talked to this week on the pregame show, your manager Jason Wood and your strength and conditioning coach Eric McMahon, have unsolicitedly gone out and sung your praises for your work ethic and your preparation. At this stage of the season, what is it that keeps you going?
I don't know. I just love the game, and I respect the game, and I feel like if I take anything off whatsoever, I feel like that's a slap in the face to the game itself. And I try to just treat every day like it's the last day I'm going to play, and whether it's conditioning or arm care or whatever, I make sure I do it, and I make sure I do it the right way. And I think that's what keeps me healthy in the long run too. Is it keeps me healthy, it keeps me on the field, and allows me a chance to possibly play for the big league team. So or to Round Rock Express above that. So I just try to it keeps me healthy, and it's just my foundation when I come to the field, and that's my motivation really, just stay healthy and stay on the field.
Was there somebody in your life growing up, whether a player, a family member, that showed or impressed you with their hard work ethic, and was that in any way an influence on the player and the person you've become as a pro ball player?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of people. There's some a lot of sports figures. I personally like watching Adam Wainwright throw, and I had always heard when I was a kid that he had great work ethic. He was a great person, but he was, aside from that, he's a great competitor on the mound. And I love watching him to this day. But my dad has always been the hard worker in the family, and he'd come home after a long 7 to 5 job, working in his hot cabinet shop factory or whatever, and he'd still have time to help us play ball in the backyard or go to the field up the road there and help us play and just practice and whatnot. So, just little stuff like that is just, I didn't realize at the time, but I realize it now, is that those small acts like that and those small little aspects of just doing that little extra it pays dividends in the long run.
Well, something that seems to be contagious and infectious as this team continues to rack up wins and barrel on towards the postseason. Jerad, thanks so much for your time today and throughout the course of the season. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
He's Jerad Eickhoff, back in a moment on the RoughRiders Baseball Network.